Hey, what's up, guys? This is Beehive Sports here for week one of the NFL season. It's back, baby. Let's get this going.
Mm.
We're going to kick off this week with the Giants facing the Commanders in Washington. The over-under on this game is 45 and a half. Washington with our 6.5 point favorites. Personally here, Giants have a really good defense. I think, damn, oh my God. Let's just
Frog in
cut
the
that.
throat.
Damn.
Um,
They got
okay,
the
I'm gonna
snipers
start
on
that
them.
little part over real quick. Giants Commanders. So the over under here is 45 and a half with Washington Commanders at 6.5 point favorites. I like the under in this game. I think the Giants have a good defense. I think Washington can't clear it though. What do you guys think about that?
I guess I'm interested to see how Russell Wilson is going to connect with these receivers. I think Malik Neighbors is the most talented wide receiver Russell Wilson has had in his career. He looked pretty good in the preseason.
Yeah.
I can see him exposing this Washington defense, who there's not many big names. You saw Eagles at the end of last year expose them for 40 points in the NFC Championship game. I mean, I kind of like the over in this game. I'm not going to lie. I think Jaden Daniels is going to have something to prove. I don't know if he's necessarily going to light him up for 30, but I can see them getting 2 or 3 touchdowns and the Giants, matching maybe like a 27-30 game. I think it's going to be relatively close. I'm taking the Giants spread in this one, but I think Russell Wilson has a chance to do something special against this pretty sad Washington defense.
I'm a
That's
big
good.
fan of Russ. Always have been. So I think I think you can get into an offense right away and just spark it up. I think it's a big upgrade from Daniel Jones. That's not much, but I think he is a more serviceable quarterback. Um, I do think there's just been no stability in New York for the past couple of years. Malik Neighbors has finally set a solid foundation for him, and I think Russ is just going to lead that team to probably be a little bit better than a lot of people expected. I know Jaden Daniels is going to ball out. That guy's crazy. I think this would be kind of a good game to see where the rest of that Washington offense is at, because I think we're still kind of out on a lot of a lot of skill guys in Washington. So I think this will be a fun game. I think that over is getting smashed. Honestly, I think defense. If these last two Thursday and Friday games have been any indication of the defense that's being played, I think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game, and I think that over is getting smashed. And I do think the Commanders are going to go ahead and take this one, but I think it'll be a little scary.
Yeah, I think the biggest story out of this one is who's going to come out of that backfield. Is it going to be Austin Eckler? Is it going to be Chris Rodriguez? Is it going to be Jeremy McNichols or Bill Krosky? Who's going
Yeah,
to be?
yeah.
Is Debo going to be the same Debo he was before? And can the Giants get it together? Can
Yeah.
the Giants get it together? But we'll
A lot
go
of
ahead and move on to
questions.
the next
A lot of
game.
questions.
Go ahead and move on to the next game. We had the Bengals at the Browns with an over under of 48 and a half with Cincinnati as 5.5 point favorites. I guess the story here would be um, Joe Burrow, not notorious for being a really good week one quarterback. But this is the healthiest he's going to be in an off season. The last couple off seasons, he hasn't been able to get a full off season because he's been injured. Now he gets a full off season, work with all these guys, but we know that the defense is not that good. Browns, we got to see where they're going. Obviously, the running back situation. They just signed Quinton Judkins. Is it going to be Jerome Ford coming out? Is Quinton Judkins going to be on commissioner's list? Is he going to get 3 games, 6 games, and then trying to figure out that running back room? The receivers was trying to figure out, can Joe Flacco step in and be that guy at least for a couple weeks until the rookies start taking over? What do you guys think?
So right off the bat, I think Quinshon Judkins isn't going to be a factor until maybe week 3 or 4. He had no reps with the team all off season, and Dylan Sampson is also a really talented running back that they took in the same draft. So I think Sampson and Jerome Ford are going to be like don't want to call it a two-headed monster, but I think they're going to be a pretty even share of carries for the next few weeks. And Bengals don't really have anyone to stop that. I mean, Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson, how are they going to work together? They might get pressure on Flacco to make him release the ball quicker than he wants. But I think, it might not be the craziest take, but I think Browns are going to go out and win this game. I think the Browns have a really elite defense. I think Myles Garrett's just still the defensive player of the year this year, and the Bengals, like you said, they just seem to start slow at the beginning of the year. You know,
The Patriots beat them last year for week 1, so
Mm-hmm.
anything's possible.
exactly. You know, I mean, they just always seem to be fighting at the end of the year to go on a run to make the playoffs because of their slow starts. You know, at the beginning of the season. So I like the Browns in this game. Honestly, I'm taking the money line.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of history has already told us that the Bengals are really not the best at finding their footing. But I think this is the year where they just kind of finally get it all together. There's Chase Brown is holding down that running back room solid. Jamar Chase obviously is consensus number one guy. Joe Burrow, I don't think I think it's finally this year he's just gonna get it right. I know the Browns are a tough team. They got a good defense, but what really is who's gonna score on that team? You got Jerry Judy. Are you going to let your rookies run crazy? I know Isaiah Bond just got signed there. I don't even know how solid he's going to be in that offense. Cedric Tillman and Jamari Thrash are your other two dudes. Like, I don't know who's going. I think it's time. I think it's time you already throw him in, bro. I mean, I don't know what's. It's time. Let's get Shadur starting some reps already, bro.
Perfect
I mean,
time.
Jesus,
I expect
that's crazy.
I think week 8 Shadur is going to be starting that team, but Joe Flacco, that's veteran. That's elite quarterback Joe Flacco. He's gonna hold his own for a while, but I think the Bengals are gonna take this one pretty
So
handily.
do you think those Bengals they cover that 5.5, or do you think it's going to be closer than that?
I personally think the Bengals do cover that 5.5. The slow start, it's true. But like I said, Joe Burrow has been injured these last couple preseasons. This year around, he was able to play a preseason game. We saw how quickly he was acclimated into the offense. He scored really quickly with Jamar Chase. It feels like they haven't skipped a beat. I feel like they could actually get off to a quick start. I think they do clear it, but I do think it's going to be a lot closer. I would take the over in this game, but we will have to see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree.
Yeah,
Um,
that is a good point. I didn't realize. Yeah, he did play that preseason and looked good right off the bat.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
maybe
look
that
great. Yeah.
connection going into the regular season will help him out.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll take a look at what's going to happen with Sean Judkins. If he's going to be on the commissioners list, if he's on the commissioners list, it's 3 weeks, could be up to 6 weeks as well. We don't know if he comes back. Is he still going to be okay? We'll have to. It's either going to be week 4 to 7 that he could be good. If it's 3 weeks, we'll see what happens. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next game. It's going to be the Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons with an over under of 47.5, and Tampa Bay are favorites by 1.5 points. So a couple things here. We have Michael Penix starting for the Falcons. Those last 3 games that he played were really solid. The Falcons can come in and just start on fire. It's a divisional matchup. On the other side, we have the Buccaneers, who are going to have a new offensive coordinator. They don't have Chris Godwin anymore. Mike Evans is 1 year older, but they got in my opinion, a stud, Emeka Ibuka. Baker Mayfield came out and said 2 months ago, and this was during mini camps and everything, that Emeka Ibuka was awesome. They asked him, "What do you like about this team?" All he said was Emeka Ibuka. So I'm just saying there's a connection there. I think there's going to be a lot of upside there, but we got to see how it's going to go. Are they going to be favoring the pass? Are they going to be favoring the run? They have Bucky Irving, but you guys let me know. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be whichever running back comes out and establishes the run better. Honestly, I think both teams have super talented receivers on the outside. I think Darnell Mooney's underrated. I think he's injured, but you have people like Drake London, who was lighting it up. He was a big red zone threat. I think Mike Evans might be taking a step back this year. They say that every year, but he really is getting up there in age. And Ibuka is looking to get some of those shares that Mike Evans had last year when Chris Godwin was hurt. So I think it really is just going to come down to the running game. And Buccaneers have a better run defense, but Bijan's arguably the more talented running back. So
top guy.
It's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a field goal. I can't tell you who's going to win the game.
I mean, I know we like to make jokes about the Falcons, but I think they finally got together and they finally got a good squad and they got a good head on their shoulders. I liked what I saw from Michael Penix last year. I think it's just going to grow off of that, finally having a whole without any QB controversy. I think you just giving him the reins is really kind of going to unlock this Falcons offense. I mean, obviously they have Bijan, who he's my consensus number one. No bias aside, all bias aside, he's just the best running back in the game. Um, Drake London, I think, is going to be dynamite this year. I think he's going to have a really big year. Could this be the year of Kyle Pitts? I'm not even asking him to go out and be a Travis Kelce. I'm just asking him to be a serviceable tight end. Who knows if that'll happen? But I mean, if he can find it, that's great. I just don't think the Buccaneers have any offensive options outside of Bucky Irving and Egbuka. I also believe Mike Evans is going to fall off this year, not off a cliff, but I mean, it's going to be a tough game. And you need to be a solid wide receiver this game, and I don't think Mike Evans is really going to put too much into it. I mean, he's Mr. 1000, but who knows? Might be the hardest 1000 he'll get in his career. And besides that, you got Bucky Irving, Rashad White. I don't even know really if he's a serviceable running back anymore. He might be coming on some, third and longs just to, give Bucky a rest. And then Cade Otton as their tight end option. I've never really been big on Cade. I know Baker really likes him, but I mean, I don't think he's really much of an option on the offense. So I think the Falcons are going to take this one pretty handily. I would be betting big on a lot of those unders for the Buccaneers because I think they're going to have a tough time trying to establish anything.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it's a divisional game. Most divisional games all around the league are always going to be tough. You're going to have those really close totals and the spreads and everything. So I think it's going to be a tough game to bet on. But we'll go on to a different game that honestly could be tough to bet on too. We have the Miami Dolphins at the Indianapolis Colts. A couple things here. We have the Colts with new quarterback Danny Dimes coming into a different system, a better offensive line, better offensive weapons, I believe. And I mean, outside of maybe a couple guys that he had in New York, like Saquon. But I think this team is a little bit more of a foundational piece. So, he could come off and do something good against a Miami defense that honestly is so depleted at this point. I mean, they got rid of like one of their best cornerbacks. I mean, there really isn't much on that side. But when we talk about the offense, we have Tyreek Hill, who has been really up and down with the Miami Dolphins this offseason and towards the end of the year. Not sure if he wants out or don't know if he wants in. Don't want A-Chain. He's dealing with a calf injury. And yeah, sure, yeah, he might be good. But you know who else was good last season for a calf injury? Christian McCaffrey. And they said he was going to play. And then he ended up missing basically the whole season. And Devon Achane, a fast guy, calf injury, that doesn't make me happy. That doesn't it just feels like something's going to happen. So I don't know. The over under here is 46.5, and the spread is 1.5. Colts are favorited. Another tough spread. You guys tell me how you feel about this.
I kind of, contrary to popular opinion, I kind of like the Dolphins a lot this year. I know their defense is nothing special, but I think last year they just had a lot of stuff go against them. Tua just never was able to get into a rhythm. He was hurt and then not hurt, and then Skylar Thompson was in, and then Achane was hurt, and it just wasn't good. I think they still are going to have, if Tua can stay healthy, they will have one of the most explosive offenses in the league. I think Tyreek, the fall off is not happening yet. A lot of people were saying that he's done for. I think he's still a top 10 wide receiver in this league. Waddle's a, very serviceable wide receiver too. And I think if the offense can stay healthy, they can put up 35 points on this defense who is good, but they're nothing special.
I think the story of this game is really just going to come down to who is going to play for either squad. I don't think the Colts are really solid on who their offensive guys are going to be. I know Jonathan Taylor came back and he looks to be pretty good. So maybe we'll see that, that 2021 or whatever season that was where he was really eating up. Maybe they'll go back to that again. Michael Pittman, how is he going to come back after, last year he was okay, but that's not what you want from wide receiver one or are any of the young guys, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, are they going to step up and be that guy for the Colts? And then looking on the other side, the Dolphins, outside of Achane, Tyreek Hill, you're kind of hoping Jalen Waddle comes back to form. You're also hoping Tyreek comes back to form. You're hoping Achane isn't going to get too many reps because you don't want him to get hurt again. Darren Waller's out with a hip injury. He's not even going to be playing, so they're going to have to throw in a tight end. I couldn't tell you his name. Their second string guy. who's going to score the points for Miami outside of HN and Tyreek. I don't know. This one is it's kind of a. I think it's both teams that are really trying to find their footing. So I think it's going to be kind of nasty. I don't think there's going to be much scoring unless that Miami defense really is just super depleted. Then I think the Colts are going to run away with this one. But I'd stay away from this one. The spread and the over under. I think there's too many questions on both sides of the ball to really be confident in anything.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing is going to be what's Tua going to do? Is Tua going to stay healthy? And if he is, then that offense can be great. And if he isn't, then the offense can be bad. And even if he is healthy, offense still can be bad. Who knows? But we're going to go on and move on to another game. This might be the first game, probably the only game where we're going to see a little bit of defense. We have the Steelers facing up against the New York Jets. Over under of 37.5, the lowest over under this week with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Our favorite it in 2.5 points. Here we have two quarterbacks that are revenge games. They just swapped. You got Justin Fields coming over from the Steelers, going to play the Jets, and then Aaron Rodgers, vice versa. We have DK Metcalf on the Steelers that could come out and be good outside of him, who is there. Obviously, Jalen Warren got the start. We're not going to see a lot of Caleb Johnson. On the Jets side, we're hoping that somebody emerges out of this backfield. We don't know who it's going to be. It could be Brees Hall. It could be Brandon Allen. Still not sure there. The offensive weapons for the Jets, obviously, Garrett Wilson is there. He's going to get a bunch of targets, but is he going to be able to score? Is Justin Fields going to take those goal line rushes away, or is he going to be able to get the ball? We're hoping for that DJ Moore year that we had a couple years ago with Justin Fields and on the Bears, and then a couple guys that we just hope that they could come out and just make a name for themselves. But I don't know. You guys tell me how you guys feel about this game.
I think that when this game shows up on my TV, I'm changing the channel. This is just not a game I want to be involved in at all. You can tell me the Jets are going to win, I'll believe you. You can tell me the Steelers are going to win, I'll believe you. I just think these are just two bottom feeder teams that. Is DK Metcalf better than Garrett Wilson? Who knows? Is Justin Fields better than Aaron Rodgers? Who knows? I mean, Jalen Warren might be as good as Brees Hall is this year, right? So, Caleb Johnson might be the best out of all of them.
That's not a stretch to say that. That's not crazy to say that.
This is just a game that is going to be. They got good defenses, and the over under was 14. I still don't know if I'd go take the over. This game might be a Chris Boswell masterpiece. I'm staying away from this game.
All the homies are starting Chris Boswell.
Yeah. If I can't sleep at night, I'll replay this one day on YouTube.
I cannot stand the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think they have any semblance of an organization going on over there. DK Metcalf being their biggest pick up this past season, that doesn't move me. I don't think the Steelers are gonna do anything good. Aaron Rodgers, can he even prove that he's a good quarterback anymore? I don't think so. I don't think he has it. I think the gas is out. And then they got Mason Rudolph. That's going to throw in. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has the juice anymore. I think Justin Fields might run all over this game because I don't think Brees Hall's that good either. I think he's going to lose a lot of touches. I think he's going to lose a lot of speed. Braylon Allen, I guess, can step in, but he was never really a big, he's not really a Brees Hall replacement. There was kind of like a power back, short, third and short, just, run it down the middle of Braylon Allen. Garrett Wilson is a good receiver. I hope he leaves that organization. The Jets are in turmoil right now. I think it's just give Justin Fields a ball and see what he can do. Have Garrett Wilson there too, just have some fun. I don't expect this game to be nice. I don't think it's going to be fun. I'm not going to watch it. It's going to be a defensive slog because both offenses are horrible. Start Jonnu Smith. I don't know why you got Pat Freiermuth as your number one tight end, Pittsburgh Steelers. You got Jesus waiting on the sideline, and you got Pat old ass Freiermuth.
Yeah, this is definitely just a game of all time. I hope that whenever this game pops up on Red Zone, they go to commercial break. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next game. We have the Raiders at the New England Patriots. A couple stories here. Obviously, Ashton Jensen for the Raiders, how much workload he's going to be able to get. He's going to be able to get those short touches, maybe a little dump offs, and then how he's going to be doing in between the tackles. And if he's going to be able to bounce it out, we know that his ability to Control his body is amazing. It's top tier. I mean, this guy can really get out of anything. But we just got to hope that the rest of the offense can come through. And then on the Patriots side, obviously, revamped Patriots. They got a little more pieces on the offensive line. They got Stephon Diggs. They drafted Trevion Henderson. Drake May is projected to be better than last year. I mean, as long as he plays a 17-game season, we'll see what he can come out to be. We've got the over-under here at 44.5, and the Patriots favored it by 2.5 points. You guys let me know what y'all think.
I'm excited for Brock Bowers. I think that he's just going to continue off of his last season with Geno Smith being an upgrade from Aiden O'Connell. Is that who was the starter last year? I mean,
yeah, Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew.
Sure, bro.
I mean, come on. Geno Smith is, he was a top 10 fantasy quarterback
2
years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Top
that
three?
guy.
Top
That
three?
guy-
I mean, come on.
He was top 5 2 years ago.
Top 5 2 years ago. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It doesn't get much better than that for a guy like Brock Bowers, who just had one of the greatest, if not the greatest, rookie tight end season of all time. I mean, I think Brock might just take over this game. If you say he's going to get 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, that's not going to surprise me. Christian Gonzalez might be on the outside, locking up. Who's the white? Jacoby Myers. Good luck. Brock Bowers down the middle all day. Ashton Genty, feed him. I think the Raiders win this game, and I think Drake May plays good, but I don't think it's going to be enough to beat that combo of Genty and Bowers.
Yeah, I'm excited for this game. This is going to be, I think, a barn burner. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The new look Patriots look good. I love Stephon Diggs on this team. I think he's a great receiver, and I wish he would have panned out a little better on the Texans if he hadn't gotten injured. I like Demario Douglas. I like Ramondre Stevenson too, and that's a guy that I don't think is really going to drop off too hard because a lot of his work came from the receiving game, and you don't really lose that. Like Alvin Kamara is a guy that he's still in the league, lighting up defenses just by catching those little balls, and I think that's really underrated when you're a running back in longevity. I think if you can catch a ball, you can really still be good for a long time. Ashton Genty, obviously, I think he's going to be insane. His preseason tapes, get me ready to run through a wall, bro. That guy's insane. I don't know how long it's going to last, though. I think we might have to Anthony Richardson him and, just tell him to chill out a little bit. I appreciate his excitement to go run through somebody, but, you got to stay healthy. Geno Smith, I've been high on Geno Smith for 5 years. I love Geno Smith. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for Brock Bowers to maybe win the MVP. If this is like the Raiders offense, it seems like it's poised to give him 15 looks a game, over 100 yards a game, you run up the touchdowns. Brock Bowers, he is my dark horse MVP this year. I think he's got it all. He's got a solid wide receiver core. He's got a great running back. Geno Smith knows how to get the ball down the field. I think he had a lot of issues getting touchdowns. But I think with this Raiders offense, that's not going to be an issue. I'm super excited for this game. This is going to be a fun one to watch.
Did I hear Brock Bowers dark horse MVP?
Yes, Brock Bowers dark horse MVP. Yes, tight end Brock Bowers MVP.
All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next game. We have the Arizona Cardinals facing against the worst team in the league, honestly, in my opinion, the New Orleans Saints. A couple things here. The Saints came out and said that Alvin Kamara was going to take a bunch of the workload away. Or not away, but he's going to continue to take that workload. Outside of that, you have Spencer Rattler starting. You have concussion-prone, top 5 concussions of all time, Chris Olave, and not much going on in the defense. And then the Cardinals, you have a lot of upside. Their defense is healthier this year. You have Kyler that wants to come out and run the ball more. You see the connection with Marvin Harrison and how that's developing, and it's going to develop this year from what they said. And then obviously a top 3 tight end, Trey McBride, a lot of really awesome things here. Over under 43.5. That might be a little bit too much, but I mean, maybe Cardinals do score 43 points. I don't know. And then obviously the spread's going to be in favor of the Cardinals of 6.5. That you guys tell me what you think about
that. This is another game I don't think I really want to watch. The Cardinals don't excite me too much to do anything this season. I think they are stepping into the right direction, still missing a lot of key pieces. There's no really all-pro players, any type of MVP players on the team besides maybe Trey McBride. I think they're going to win the game. The Saints are terrible. Spencer Rattler is not a NFL caliber quarterback, and I think they're just tanking. It's going to be a good game if you have an Arizona Cardinal on your team, like a James Conner or Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison. I think those guys will all have good games. Alvin Kamara might be the only viable option on the Saints. Cardinals by 100.
I agree. I think they're going to wipe the floor with the Saints. I don't really like Spencer Rattler as a quarterback, and that's their best option. So, that's not going to be too good. It's probably going to kill the receiving game pretty bad. A receiving game that's kind of non-existent too. You got Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Brandon Cooks are your top 3 guys. That doesn't move me at all. Those are all wide receiver 2s and 3s on other teams. The Cardinals, they have a solid offense, and I'm excited to see James Conner. I know there's been a lot of questions about how he's going to look this year, and I think this might not be the best indicator because I don't think the Saints have anything good to show on the field. So, I mean, I expect a big game from James Conner. I really hope Marvin Harrison finally stops just running fades. I'd love for the offense to incorporate him into some other routes because I think he's just ready to break out, man, and this will be the year. Kyler, I'd like to see him, I don't know, not make me shake my head every play, man. I watched a lot of Cardinals games last year, and there was a lot of 3-and-outs that just shouldn't have been. I think Kyler likes to make the big plays, and I think he needs to take a step back and take those little short routes, you don't got to score every play. But they will. They might. They just might on the Saints. So I'm smashing the over, taking the Cardinals. They're easy. They're winning this. Easy.
Moving on to a matchup that may be just a little bit more exciting. Panthers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, here we have Bryce Young coming into the season. Hopefully, wants to tail off the last couple of games he had last season. A new weapon in Tedero McMillan. And then obviously on the Jaguar side, new offensive coordinator. You have Trevor Lawrence coming in, and hopefully he's going to be slinging the ball a little bit more. Hopefully to get a little bit of a rub off from Baker Mayfield, what Liam Cohen did over there in Tampa Bay. Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas. Who's going to come out of that backfield? Not sure. It's going to be ETN, Bigsby, or if it's going to be Tudor. We don't know. We're not sure yet, but I think a lot of questions will be answered in this first game. We have an over-under of 46.5, and then Jacksonville's favored by 3.5 points. You guys tell me what y'all think.
I am really excited to watch this game. I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. There's a lot of weapons. Year 2 BTJ, Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, I think he's taking a step up. I mean, that Jaguars offense is going to be pretty fun to watch. And then on the other side, I have Bryce Young as my breakout player of the year. I think he's just going to take a step in the right direction. Another year, I think he's gotten his confidence. I think that's what it was. He just wasn't confident. I think towards the end of last year, he started winning games, making a connection with his receivers. Chuba Hubbard obviously helped him out by having a year that really no one kind of expected from him. I think the Panthers win this game just off the fact that I think Bryce Young he's going to be good this year. And I'll die on that hill. If he ends up, winning 3 games, then I'll never talk football again. But, Bryce Young throwing to Ted McMillan, who I thought was the best receiver coming out of this draft. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I think there's a lot of things to find out with this game.
Yeah, I think I'm excited just to see what these offenses look like. I think that Panthers offense looks really fun. I am very excited to see what Tech can do, and I've been really high on Xavier Legette. I think he kind of took a backseat last year, and I think it's time for him to really come into his own as a wide receiver too. I'm just really excited to see Travis Hunter on the field. They have him listed as a second string cornerback, so I don't know how much defense he'll be playing realistically. I don't think they'll be having him in for long drives and stuff like that. But I mean, he's electric on the offense, and I think this might unlock Trevor Lawrence. I know we've been talking about him being like the next great quarterback for a long time, and I think he just really needed some solid wide receivers. BTJ, Travis Hunter, these are guys that excite me. I'm super excited. I'm very curious about that Jacksonville running back situation, though. Should be fun. I'm really excited. A lot of questions will be answered this game, and it's looking to be really fun.
Do you guys think we could speed run this afternoon slate?
Probably
What do you think?
not. Maybe we just end it there, honestly.
I'm
You have
fine with
9 minutes, right?
About I think we can speed run it super quick, like a minute each. It's 5 games and then the Monday game.
All right,
We
let's
can
go
just get
for
it quick.
it. I mean,
I'll keep it super short then. I'll keep it
All
real
right,
short.
cool. All right. All right, this is going to be the afternoon slate. We have 49ers at the Seahawks over under a 43.5, and the 49ers are 2.5 point favorites. Obviously, we have Sam Darnold as the helm for the Seattle Seahawks, and then we have the 49ers with Christian McCaffrey could be hurt. No wide receivers really are staying healthy. We're not sure what's going on there. You guys tell me what you guys think about that.
Niners are going to suck this year. Brock Purdy takes a step back, big step back. And I think, there's no weapons. Maybe George Kittle, maybe. And Seahawks suck even worse. Niners will win the game by a field goal, but Seahawks, really no one there either. I just, Sam Darnold, I don't think he's going to do what he do with the Vikings.
I am very curious to see how Sam Darnold is with the Seahawks team. I have a lot of stock in Jackson Smith and Jigma. I hope he has a huge year. We're going to find out now if it's him or the quarterback. But yeah, this is a game that I'm not really too interested in. I've never liked watching the 49ers play, and the Seahawks without Geno mean nothing to me. So, pass.
Next game we have coming up, we have the Tennessee Titans at the Broncos. Broncos with one of the best defenses, not the best defense in the league, and a rookie Cam Ward trying to figure out what's going to go on there. Who's going to target? Is going to be Ridley or the new guy? And on the Broncos side, we hope that Bo Nix takes a step forward. Who's going to come out of that backfield? If it's going to be Harvey, if it's going to be J.K. Dobbins. You guys let me know what you guys think about that. We have a 42.5 over under, and the Broncos favored by 8.5 points.
Yeah, I think the Broncos win this easily unless Cam Ward really does, turn into the second coming of Christ like everyone thinks he might be. But, Nick Bonito, Cortland Sutton, Nick Bonito, Patrick Surtain, Jahdae Barron as your first NFL start at quarterback, not going to be too fun. I think, Broncos just kind of win this. Bo Nix continues on his offensive rookie of the year season from last year.
Yeah, it's a wash for the Titans. Maybe figure out who you want to throw to. Tyler Lockett's a serviceable wide receiver too, but besides that, you got a rookie and some other dudes. So Calvin Ridley might have to do a lot of bulk here, which is impossible against the Broncos defense. So I'm taking all the unders for all the Titans guys, even if they're low. It could be Cam Ward, 80 yards. I'm taking that under.
Yeah. Next thing we have the Lions and the Packers. Packers coming in with a couple new weapons. Obviously, Matthew Golden, a couple guys solidifying the backfield. And then on the defensive end, they just acquired Micah Parsons. The Lions on the other side could be taking a step back. No Ben Johnson. We're going to have to see how this offense is going to move. We're not sure if it's going to be a split in the backfield. And then we're going to hope that maybe there's some differences in the wide receiving game. We'll see what happens. Over under a 47.5 with Green Bay favored at 1.5 points. You guys let me know what you think about that.
Clearly, I'm a Cowboys fan. I saw Micah Parsons versus the Lions for the past 2 years. Not good. We've allowed a lot of points versus the Lions, and Micah Parsons was on that defense. I think it's going to be kind of the same deal. I think the Lions just continue to have a top 10 offense. It might not be as good without Ben Johnson, but Jahmyr Gibbs is going to feast down the middle. It's going to be Lions by a touchdown.
Yeah, this is the Tigers. I'm really excited to watch. I'm huge on Matthew Golden, obviously. Josh Jacobs. We'll see if he's solid. I know there's been a lot of talk about him and how he's going to, operate in this offense. I think he'll be great. I'm not really too moved on the Lions. They're the same team pretty much as last year. Not too many moves. Just see if they can, sustain. They were a solid team last year. They're looking to be a solid team this year, but the Packers just seem more exciting. I'm excited to watch this game, and I wouldn't be surprised if they sneak one here, catch the Lions with their guard down.
Yeah,
Hutchinson's back.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm probably gonna get kicked out right now. They just turned off the lights, so I'm probably gonna get out of here. If you guys want to finish up the last three, it's Texans, Rams, Ravens, Bills, and the Vikings.
I think we could call it there.
Yeah, I'm good.
We could probably just cut out the afternoon slates and just do the morning ones, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, go with that.
All right. Okay, good sesh, guys. Nice. See you later.
Good session.
All right, later.